Murder of Cassie Jo Stoddart. During the early morning hours on Friday, the 23rd of September 2006, Brian Draper, 16, at the time of the attack, and Tori Adachik, 16, at the time of the murder, snuck into the house Cassie Jo Stoddart, 16, was watching, and stabbed her to death. Background: Cassie Jo Stoddart was born on the 21st of December, 1989. In 2006, she was a student at Pocatello High School, in Bannock, Idaho. She was dating Matthew Beckham at the time of her murder. Matthew knew Draper since 7th grade, and Adachik from the previous school year. The four of them were all friends before the murder. On the 31st of August 2006, Adachik called Joe Lucero, a friend, and asked if he would buy him a few knives, stating that he wanted to start a collection. Adachik and Draper picked up Lucero and drove to a pawn shop. At the pawn shop, Adachik picked out one knife, Draper picked out 3. These would be the knives used in the murder. Night of the murder, Cassie Stoddart was house-sitting for her cousin on the 22nd of September 2006. Matt Beckham, Cassie's boyfriend, had been keeping her company. According to court documents, the couple invited over their friends, Brian Draper and Tori Adachik, to hang out. The 4 teenagers hung out for 2 hours before Draper and Adachik headed out. Matt told investigators that the power had gone out in the home while they were watching television. He also said one dog was freaking out and growling and was running back and forth in the home. Matt called his mom, Sherry Beckham, and asked if he could spend the night with Cassie at her cousin's house. His mom said no, but offered Cassie to spend the night at her home. Matt's mom recalled Cassie saying, "No, I have to let the animals out real early, I'm just going to stay." Matt and Adachik spoke on the phone, and Matt told him his mom was picking him up. Matt said that Adachik was speaking in a whisper, and when he asked why, he told him he was at a movie. Sherry picked up Matt around 11 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. Matt told Cassie he would call her when he arrived home. The house Cassie Stoddart was watching. The murder. While Adachik and Draper were hanging out, they had unlocked a basement door. They drove down the block, parked, and re-entered the home through the unlocked door. The pair then turned the power to lights off throughout the house. Documents show that Draper broke 2 ashtrays on the stairs to the basement in order to scare Cassie and Matt. Draper called Matt while he was in the basement and was told that Matt would be leaving Cassie's home soon. Once Matt left, Adachik and Draper, now wearing horror movie-type masks and armed with knives, went upstairs. While upstairs, Draper slammed a door, hoping to scare Cassie and drawing her towards the noise. When she did not enter the room they were hiding in, they walked into the living room, where Cassie was. Cassie stated, "Who is that? I'll kick your ass." As she approached them, they stabbed her. Cassie was stabbed 30 times, 12 of which had the potential to be fatal. The pair then drove to a rural area with the intentions of hiding the evidence. They placed the weapons, clothing, and other evidence in a bag, and set it on fire. The following day, Matt called Cassie at 12:15 a.m. but she did not answer her phone. The morning of Saturday, the 23rd of September, Matt called Cassie approximately 15 times. Anna Stoddart, Cassie's mother, had also reached out to her multiple times throughout Saturday, calling and texting her, but Cassie never answered. Matt had spent Saturday evening with Adachik and his family. Concerned about Cassie, since she was not answering her phone, he asked Adachik to drive him to the house she was staying in. Adachik told him he did not have enough gas to get there and back. Matt spent the night at the Adachik's residence. On Sunday, the 24th of September 2006, Cassie's family has been worrying. Her mom keeps attempting to contact her. About 1:15 p.m. the Contreras family, Cassie's cousin, arrived back home from their trip to Wyoming. Alison Contreras told investigators, the doors were all open / and off the hook, and there was broken glass and stuff at the foot of the stairs. Her husband, Frank Contreras, went upstairs and came back downstairs screaming, "Call 911, somebody is dead on our floor." Alison ran upstairs as she called 911. Court documents say she saw Cassie's body on the floor of the living room, in front of the TV. There was blood behind her head and left leg. Her left pinky was almost fully cut off. The 911 dispatcher instructed Alison to start CPR. Records state, it was obvious to Alison CPR would not work. The dispatcher then instructed touch the body, and she then definitively determined that Cassie dead. Alison went outside to tell the rest of her family to wait outside. She saw Anna Stoddart and Cassie's stepdad, Victor Price, pulling up to the house. Frank met them outside and told them that Cassie had been murdered. Interviews. The initial investigation led detectives to Adachik and Draper. Detectives went to Adachik's home on the 24th of September 2006 to interview him regarding the murder of Cassie. During this interview, his father, Sean Adachik, was present. Adachik told detectives that he and Draper went to hang out with Cassie and Matt. After hanging for a bit, they realized there would not be a party like they had expected, so they left. He stated they went to see a movie but could not recall any details from the movie. He stated that he then slept over Draper's house. Detectives went to interview Draper at his home on the 25th of September 2006. They stated they were there to investigate Cassie's murder and the events surrounding it. Documents revealed that Draper started crying before telling police that they had visited Cassie and Matt, but had left once he and Adachik realized there would not be a party like they had thought. He then stated they had gone to see a movie, Pulse. When asked by detectives and his mother, Draper could not describe what happened throughout the movie. The interview was concluded, and Draper wrote a statement about what he and Adachik did the night of Cassie's murder. Second interview with Draper. Draper was interviewed again on the 26th of September 2006, this time, it was at the Pocatello Police Department, and his parents were not in the room, they accompanied him to the police department. He was also read his Miranda rights. During this interview, he told detectives upon arriving to the Contreras residence, Matt had accompanied the boys, and looked through each window of the house. He maintained that he and Adachik had seen the movie Pulse, but still could describe nothing that happened in the movie. The detectives told him they did not believe they went to the movies. Draper then had told detectives he was not at the movies, but was stealing from cars with Adachik. He denied going back to the house where Cassie was staying and having any involvement in her death. He left with his parents when the interview concluded. Search of Draper's bedroom. Draper's parents gave detectives permission after the second interview to search his bedroom. In this search, they found a knife sheath under his bed. Draper stated it belonged to a friend. He also stated he did not know where the knife was, but he believed the same friend had it. Third interview. Detectives brought Draper in for a third interview on Wednesday, the 27th of September 2006. They read him his Miranda rights, and Draper agreed to speak without a lawyer being present. The interview is not available to be viewed, but official documents summarize what Draper revealed in the interview. He admitted they unlocked the door with the intentions of coming back to scare Cassie and her boyfriend. Draper also admitted to breaking the ashtrays on the staircase and to slamming the door to scare Cassie once they were upstairs. In the interview, Draper stated that Adachik walked in front of him towards Cassie and stabbed her. He thought they were pulling a joke on him, but once he saw his wounds, he no longer believed it was a joke. Draper stated he stood watching and wondered what Adachik was doing because it was supposed to be a joke. He stated that Adachik had done all the stabbing with his knife, which was serrated. Draper stated that he did not stab or touch Cassie. He carried a non-serrated, very curved knife the night of the murder. Draper then told detectives they had tried to dispose of the evidence and agreed to show detectives where they buried it. Draper, accompanied by his father and detectives, went to the area where the evidence was buried. The lieutenant on scene dug out the hole that Draper pointed out. Stick matches found outside of the hole. Pair of black boot. Stick matches. A pair of black boots. A pair of blue rubber gloves. A pair of Athletics Works brand fingerless gloves. A melted brown hydrogen peroxide bottle. A multicolored mask. A large dagger-type knife with a sheath. A silver and black-handled knife with a signature of Sloan written on the inside. A small dagger-type knife with a sheath. A Sony videotape. This is the videotape that was later repaired and straightened in order to make it playable. A black-handled serrated folding knife. Later DNA testing revealed that Stoddart's blood was present on this knife. A partly burned piece of paper with writing in pencil. A red and white mask. Later DNA testing revealed a partial DNA profile of Adachik on the mask. A single black glove. Later DNA testing revealed a partial DNA profile from an unknown male. A pair of partially burned black Puma brand gloves. Later DNA testing revealed that Stoddart's blood had soaked into these gloves. A blue plastic garbage bag. A partially burned black long-sleeved Hager brand dress shirt. A Calvin Klein black dress shirt. Later DNA testing revealed that Stoddart's blood was present on the shirt cuff. A white and grey sock. A small piece of black cord. Second interview with Adachik. On the 27th of September 2006, detectives brought in Adachik to be interviewed for a second time. Like Draper, this interview also took place at the police department. The detectives had the evidence that Draper leads them to earlier. At the beginning of the interview, Adachik maintained that he had nothing to do with the murder and insisted that he and Draper were going through cars. The detectives disclosed that they in fact had the evidence and knew what had transpired. During the interview, Adachik's father asked if what the detectives were saying was true, and he nodded his head yes. The interview ends with the detectives taking Adachik's shoes, which he stated he was wearing the night of the murder. The transcripts to the videotape that was repaired and straightened out were released by the courts. The following are the transcriptions of the recordings as well as the words that were found on the partially burned note. Burned note in pencil. Asterisk Adachik and Draper are in car, Adachik is driving and Draper is filming from the passenger seat asterisk. Draper, we're going for a high death count. Adachik, plus, we're not going not to get caught Brian, if we're going for guns, we're just gonna end it. We're just gonna grab the guns and get out of there and kill everybody and leave. Draper, we're going to make history. We're gonna make history. Adachik, for all you FBI agents watching this. Draper, asterisk laughing asterisk. Adachik, you weren't quick enough. Asterisk laughing asterisk. Draper, you weren't quick enough, and you weren't SS smart enough. And we're going over to Jane Doe 1's house, we're going to snoop around over there and try to see if she's home alone or not, and if she's home alone, splat. She dead. Adachik, don't put your humor into this Brian. Draper, I'm not putting any humor into it. Yep, people will die, and memories will fade. Adachik, memories will fade. I wonder what movie you got that from Brian? Draper, myself. Adachik, asterisk laughing asterisk. Draper, that was from myself. Adachik, no wonder it was so lame. Draper, K, we're on our way, and I'll let you stay tuned, we're almost there. Arrests. On the 27th of September 2006, Draper was arrested after showing the detectives the hole with the murder weapons and other evidence. He was then interviewed again and tried to maintain that he did not stab or harm Cassie. Documents that he changed his story once a detective asked him whether he stabbed Cassie in order to keep Adachik from turning on him. Draper nodded yes. He stated he stabbed Cassie 4 times, though he did not want to. He admitted to stabbing Cassie in the leg and chest area. Draper told detectives that Adachik kept telling him, "You need to stab her, you need to stab her." He explained that he did not think he could do it, but stabbed her in the leg. Adachik told him, "It's not gonna work, she has to die." The interview ended after Draper asked if he could see his parents. Adamik and Draper. Adachik was arrested after his second interview. He requested to speak to a lawyer. The detectives gave him and his father a few moments to speak in private. Upon entering the room, they informed Adachik he was being placed under arrest for the murder of Cassie. Both Adachik and Draper were charged with first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Trial. Both defendants moved to sever, which means they want to be tried individually. Draper's defense team had filed a motion to suppress his last interview, where he admitted to stabbing Cassie multiple times. The court denied this motion, and the video interview was allowed as evidence. Draper and Adachik were both sentenced to serve life without parole. Recent updates. On the 13th of September 2011, Draper filed a motion appealing his sentence. The court denied this request to vacate the murder sentence, but agreed to vacate the conviction for conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. The court states that this charge will be tried again. On the 26th of December 2017, Adachik filed a motion appealing his sentence for both charges. The court denied this request. Adachik is serving life in the Idaho State Correctional